Did you guys know that there are plugins in Illustrator? I had absolutely no idea and I was blown away when I realized this. Wow, these plugins are great. The entire library is something that we can always use and come back again, and I am looking at how great these plugins are and they're easy to develop as well. Now, I'm not going to be talking about creating or developing these plugins. I'm starting off today with just 5 good plugins that I found on the Creative Cloud, and I hope that a lot of more people will start to realize that these plugins exist and will start to develop more. Calling out all the developers out there, if you're looking at this video, please start developing more plugins for Illustrator. But hey, let's get started with what we already have. So to start with, the first thing that I would want to do is open up Creative Cloud, and Creative Cloud is the place where all of these multiple plugins are here. Now once you're here, you'll have to go to the stock and marketplace section and then choose Illustrator from there. You'll be able to see a lot of different plugins and a lot of these plugins are free. So you can just click on Get to download them, or you can even uninstall them if necessary wherever you're done with it, right? Of course, you'll have to close Illustrator before continuing. You'll have to make sure that Illustrator is quit and not minimized, whether you're specifically working on Mac like me, and then you'll be able to install these plugins. Now the first plugin is called Artboard Resize. Now this is a great plugin. You'll be able to find it like this. It's called Artboard Resize on the Creative Cloud. Go there, install it. This is how it looks, and once you've installed it, open Illustrator. You have Illustrator open, and here is a project that I will use. Now in this project, once I have the artboard, what I can do is firstly open up this plugin directly from window extensions and then selecting the plugin that I want to open. It opens up as a new pop-up right over here, just like the other tabs that we have in Illustrator. You can see that there are multiple different formats of the artboard settings. There is A4, A3, in fact even A9, and all of these have their portrait and landscape versions. You need to just select the artboard that you want to resize and click on the relevant button. They even have a pro feature which is very cheap. If I talk in terms of price in Indian rupees, it's about 180 rupees per year, right? And that gives you a lot of different artboards. You can choose artboards for different social media pieces, Instagram content, YouTube, there is Twitter and Facebook as well. You can go ahead, buy that if you'd like, and then use it for the entire year and see how your artboards are now. Now the next one is called Iconscape. You might have used this plugin somewhere else also, because Iconscape has a huge library of icons that you can bring in directly to Illustrator. And not just icons, it has photos and illustrations as well. So let's have a look. So I have icons over here. There are multiple different varieties and categories of icons that I can also choose from. There is comic, there is infographic, and multiple different varieties in terms of size and even format. If you want the SVG one, you'll have to pay for it. Then we have stock footages that you can use from stuff like this, where a lot of different stock footages are available, and in fact even illustrations. Now these illustrations also have a huge library. There are a lot of different on transport. There is something on background. So let's see how one is supposed to use that. So if you have selected one of these art pieces that you want to use, you just have to select the artboard where you have to get the icon. It does not matter whether you have selected the or any layer or not. Once you select the artboard, go back in the panel and click on that particular icon or that particular illustration or that stock footage. And that is so easy. It just brings that one image directly into your project. Now the next one is called Colorist. It's Colorist by Creatide, right? I hope that I'm pronouncing that name right. This is what it looks like on the marketplace. And once I have installed it over here, it looks something like this. So you can see that there are 3 major panels, one for tweaker, the other one for randomizer, and the third one for setter. Now what I want to do is, what I generally prefer is take all of the colors from a singular artwork directly into the setter, and that is how I can import all of the colors like this. Now let's talk about the setter first. The thing is that setter is able to not only set colors but also extract colors from a particular document. So something like this, if I have an entirely designed document, I can click on the eyedropper tool to select all the colors from over here. Now once I have these colors, I can open up or go back to my document and then select those pieces which I want to colorize or colorize differently, and then choose whether I want to change the fill or the stroke. If the stroke is already on, that is. If the stroke is not on, it will not change or it will not play around with those pieces. Then select the paint bucket tool to drop that color on that particular object. Nice. And not just that, I can also do this slightly differently. I can play around with the randomizer and then select the color that I would want to change. If I am selecting red, it will change the amount of red in that color, or if I change green, then it will randomize the amount of green in that particular color. You can also have a values setup. This is from 0 to 255. If I reduce it, you will see that lots of dark colors appear, and if I increase it, you will see a lot of light color appears. And the third one is tweaker. Now tweaker is used to change a particular set of colors if you already have that. So if I have this open over here, let's select a particular set of objects on the screen. And now with this, I can change the brightness or the saturation. Now this number that you do see over here, the number 10 that has been written, changes any of those settings, which is red, green, blue, brightness, saturation, by that amount. So those many numbers change when you probably select this similarly from the color picker. And that way I can change the green or the blue values. If I hit plus on the blue, it will increase this by 5 values, and similarly for the green as well. You can also see that I can change the brightness and the saturation of colors directly from over here. Nice. This saves me a lot of time when I'm trying to recolor a lot of different pieces. It saves up a lot of time when I'm trying to randomize a lot of colors over here as well. Next one is called logo pack. Now if you design a lot of logos and you have a lot of clients who need these logos in different formats, in different file sizes, you can use logo packer for that. Now this is how it looks like on Creative Cloud, like a small P in the icon. Keep that in mind. So over here I do have a project which is open, a set of logo that we have, a logo with a text and a slogan that is necessary. Now to do this, the idea is that when you have to create a logo, you'll have to end up creating a new document. That logo packet does by itself. You need to probably give it the right set of names. And when you select that, just ungroup all of the different layers that you might have so that it's easy for logo packet to start working. Once that is done, open up the extension and you can see that the client name and the type that has been selected over here has been selected. There are multiple different variations, whether you want just the logo mark or the text. And then you might just want to have media or discrete prints. You might be able to change colors. You can have multiple inverted color, grayscale color, and separator is used for saving the files. So once this happens, you can select on generate logos and create a new document on which you'll be able to see the entire set of logos that have been generated. Right? So something about colors over here, which you can ignore, and then this is how it ends up. Right? And not just this, I can also use to export all of these logos directly from over here, and then you can see how I can choose the location where I want to save all of these logos in different file formats, AI, JPG, PNG, and everything else. And with this, if I hit on export logos first and then the export files next, I'll be able to get all of these files directly separated very nicely and very neatly in my folders. The last one that I really like is called Arranger. Now this works very similar to the Align tab, but it has slight more variations in terms of how you can align multiple things. Now to do this, I have a lot of different elements that I've added on screen, just a simple set of circles. You're seeing that I'm just replicating this over and over again. And once I open this extension, you can see that there are 4 different variations. You can have radial, grid, you can have a wave, or even a slightly hexagonal grid. Right? So you can see that you can set the size and the center, you can change the size, and the best part is it is dynamic. As I keep on changing these values, you'll see how I end up seeing all of those differences in real time in the screen as well. I can choose a lot of different variations. Let's say if we go with grid, I can see the set of columns and the gutter or the space between these columns as well. If I change the columns, it just arranges itself magically. Isn't that nice? So this is for the grid, and similarly we have one for the wave feature. Now for wave, you need to understand that what amplitude is and what period is. If you understand that nicely, if you're an engineer or even if you have studied some of those pieces in high school, it's great. You'll be able to apply all of these. Now over here I have distance and position that I'm setting. I probably set it somewhere in the center. From here I can change the amplitude or the period and then change how the wave reacts. And then lastly, the fourth one is creating this sort of offset grid. Now over here is very similar to how I can do this directly with a simple grid as well, but it lets me create a slightly different offset. So if I hit arrange over here, you'll be able to see that this ends up setting around specific position. And I can also set the position where I would want this grid to appear from or start from, and then change the number of columns. You'll be able to see how these differences come in. I can also change the amount of offset and the gap between different things. I can also change the layout. So a lot of different variations of how I can arrange these elements over here very nicely. Okay, now these are almost done. These are the ones that I have been using for a long time. Now, if you are somebody who's probably working at an office and you're working in a collaborative space, you might want to do this, which is collaborate with your team in terms of design directly from your Illustrator project file. Now for that, Creative Cloud already has about 3 or 4 different variations. There is Asana, Write, I think there is another one, F-Track over here, that you can directly incorporate in Illustrator and use that extension to keep on sharing those files as and when you progress. So why don't you try those out and let me know how they work in the comments below. In the meantime, why don't you also check out the tutorial course that I've created about Illustrator, which is available at the link over here. And you should be able to get a nice discount over here as well. If you are a Design Hub subscriber, you should be able to hit Design Hub sub as the coupon code and get a nice 25% discount on that course. So go ahead, try that out. If you're learning Illustrator, this is something fun to do and you'll be able to learn a lot from this. And if you like these sort of videos, please make sure that you hit that like button and follow me for more. I will see you in another video.